What is going on, AFC East Roundtable? We are live yet again here on the Jets Roundtable. I'm joined by Mr. Matt O'Leary and Jake Asman. Ryan has some work today. We might have to switch around the date of this so we can get Ryan on here every single week with us. We got a fun show today. We're going to do yet another full mock draft. It was me and Matt last week. We did a mock draft, and you guys enjoyed it, so we're doubling down, and I think this is going to become a mock draft show leading up until the day of the NFL draft, which is, by the way, right around the corner. We had a huge trade in the AFC East just yesterday. Stefon Diggs is out of here. He is now a member of the Houston Texans. I'm excited to get Jake and Matt's thoughts about all things New York Jets and that trade and all things around the AFC East in general. Jake, welcome back to the show. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great, guys. The Buffalo Bills are in shambles right now, despite whatever copium they will try to come up with. The Buffalo Bills, that's right, are in shambles right now, so I'm doing great.
The Buffalo Bills are in shambles, but there's some type of copium that they're taking over there. I'm telling you. Mr. Matt, how you doing, bro?
I am doing good. I am enjoying the copium on the timeline that's been going on for 24 hours or so. And yeah, lots of changes in the AFC East. A good time to hop in, talk some AFC East and New York Jets.
Absolutely, man. It was that trade came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but bro, I saw that and I was like, what? Stefon Diggs? I mean, it kind of felt like 2 years in the making of the sideline antics and some Bills fans getting frustrated, him going on social media, doing all these little things. So really interested to hear your guys' thoughts more about that. But before we go deeper into it, folks, don't forget to hit the like button for your boys here on the Jets Roundtable. And don't forget also to subscribe to Matt O'Leary's YouTube channel and Jake Asman. They do a great job covering the New York Jets. We do appreciate you guys tuning in to yet another edition of the Jets Roundtable brought to you by Roundtable Sports. So let's start off with the Stefon Diggs stuff before we go deep into the mock draft. And maybe, don't quote me on it, but we might be taking callers. I'll see how the chat is seeing before we open up the link to all you guys in the public. But Matt, I want to start off with you. What was your reaction when you saw Stefon Diggs getting traded to the Houston Texans when you saw that tweet yesterday?
Yeah, it was an initial shock. I went, oh my goodness, there's no way that just happened. And then I saw what the compensation was. And I think we saw a fleece job. That was a Joe Douglas-like fleece job from the Houston Texans, giving up just, a second round pick in 2025 and, no draft capital in the 2024 NFL draft. I think for Houston, it makes a ton of sense. They're going in with their young quarterback on his rookie deal, as they should. They were awesome last year. I think they're going to be awesome again this season. So from Houston's perspective, makes a ton of sense. I don't know what the plan is for Buffalo. I'm sure they're going to try to draft a wide receiver in the first round, but I don't know if he's going to be able to come in and produce at the level that Stefon Diggs has for them over the last 4 seasons. He had like 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns in what was considered a down year for him last year up in Buffalo. So it's going to be challenging for them to replace him. And I think, on paper, it's hard to argue against them, getting worse. I think, even Bills fans are going to have to admit that they are, that they got worse this offseason and have some ground to make up.
I don't know about that because we have Bills fans on Twitter right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but tell me why Shakir is not a number 1 receiver.
Oh, no.
And you see what I said. Let me take this off the screen real quick. So you said, I remember these days. How many times I convinced myself that there's a player on the Jets that's a true number 1 when he's absolutely not. I mean, listen, this is not a shot at Shakir. I think he's actually a quality player that the Bills can have a lot of hope for to be a productive wide receiver in a slot. But by no means he's a number 1, okay? Let's get that out of the way. Curtis Samuel, he's also a good wide receiver, but he's not a number 1. Now, we have to see what the Bills are going to do in the draft because I think they're about to be aggressive, and I think they're going to get a guy like Brian Thomas, I think is going to be a guy they're targeting. But as of right now, their wide receiver position is absolutely in shambles. We'll see how it looks come week number 1. Jake, what was your thoughts and reaction when you saw that news yesterday? Because of course, we talking it from the Bills' perspective, but you also have a connection with Houston after, covering that Texans team for quite some time. So what's your thoughts about that move?
Yeah, it was surprising. I mean, I was just as surprised as anyone. It's an all-in move from the Texans standpoint, right? Like, they have a very unique spot that they find themselves in that I don't think there's any team that's ever been in the situation they're in. They're a team that already knows after 1 year They got one of the, 5 best quarterbacks in football, and C.J. Stroud. I mean, he had the greatest rookie season of all time. He won a playoff game and was excellent in that win. They already won a division. So you have Stroud on his rookie deal for 4 more years. Most teams don't truly know if they have a franchise quarterback or not until maybe year 3. You fully understand what the guy is. Like Bills fans who are watching, Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen until his 3rd season when Stefon Diggs got there. So the fact that the Texans already know Stroud is the real deal, and they already hit on a guy like Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and they were able to bring back Dalton Schultz. They already had a really good offensive line led by an all-pro left tackle and Laramie Tunsil. To go all in and add Diggs to what they already had and some of the moves they made on defense, like signing Danielle Hunter, they're one of the best teams in football. And if not the Chiefs, I think there's going to be a lot of people now picking the Texans to win the whole thing because of how good Stroud was in year 1. And you would expect him now to get better in year 2.
Yeah, this is a move where you think of from the Texans standpoint. They already had quality receivers in Nico Collins and Tank Dell who kind of came onto the scene. They add Joe Mixon. Schultz is a quality tight end. And now you add a bona fide number 1. Boy, that is a team that's going all in and doing it properly. Must be nice to draft a quarterback at the top and know that he's the guy immediately. What if? But it's okay. Now, that's the Stefon Diggs stuff. Guys in the chat, let us know your thoughts about it. How do you think this kind of operates from a Jets fan perspective? Like, do you think this really gives the Jets an actual shot, a more realistic shot? Because I think we had a hope that the AFC East could be the Jets this year just by all the moves we've made in the offseason, just by seeing what the Bills have done and the Dolphins have done, and what the mindset of Jets fans is. Maybe the best path to the playoffs is winning the AFC East because of how stacked the AFC is in terms of the race of a wild card. So how does this really open up things in terms of the competition within the division, Matt? Do you think this is a move that's actually going to take this Bills team a step back? Do you think Josh Allen's going to struggle without his number 1 guy? Because from the Bills fans' perspective, this is how they're kind of operating, which I'll have my take on it as well. The Bills were 6-6, and then Joe Brady takes over, and they go on a winning streak. And during that winning streak, Stefon Diggs was not impactful. He wasn't playing, as is usual. The numbers don't lie. He was not the number 1 and not like the monster, like putting up 8 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown those games. And they were winning without his production. So they're like, oh, we won without his production. We'll be fine. But my thought process is, well, how about his presence on the field? I mean, you're talking about a guy that's on the football field. Defenses are double teaming him, which opens up the entire opportunity for the other playmakers around him. I think it's going to be a big adjustment, not only for that standpoint, but also Josh Allen to have a security blanket, the number 1 guy he can just, throw the ball to down the field or whatnot. So how do you think this is going to impact the Buffalo Bills in the short term in this season, even though we don't know what the Bills are going to do in this upcoming draft just yet?
Yeah, I think that's a great point to bring up, is because even if he's not someone of that caliber, even if when they're not producing, you're a team, or you're a player rather, that teams are going to have to like circle and be like, we cannot let this guy beat us. But you take that away, and that's not the only guy they lost. Like Gabe Davis left in free agency too. So that's their top 2 wide receivers that they are looking to replace. And sure, you bring in Curtis Samuel and Shakir. They're both like, what would you say? Both like number 3 receivers. So you have 2 number 3 receivers. You need to add more there. Granted, they do have 2 very good tight ends, so that's going to help a little bit as well. But I'm with you. I don't know if that's a sustainable plan to just go, we're going to go with a crop of number 2 and 3s and hope that we could spread it around enough, because I think if you're able to cover the tight end, then I think you should be fine against the Buffalo Bills. Again, Josh Allen's a great quarterback, so he's going to keep them in games. He's going to win them games on his own just because that's how good he is. But if you're looking at them in a terms of like a contender status, I don't know. They're gonna fight for a playoff spot, but I don't view them as massive AFC East favorites anymore.
I also think this is a really big year for Josh Allen. He already established himself as one of the league's best quarterbacks, but I think this is where we're really going to see the true Josh Allen. Let's not forget, his first 2 seasons in the NFL was without Diggs, and he did not look good. He was right there with Sam Darnold. Like, is this guy good? Is he not good? Like, no one looked at Josh Allen as a franchise quarterback in those 2 years. The Bills get Stefon Diggs, and then Josh Allen becomes an elite-level quarterback. So I think now it's up to Josh Allen to prove to everybody that he's good enough to be able to elevate the guys around him. You saw the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Tyreek Hill walks. They trade him away. Mahomes doesn't have his guy in Tyreek Hill. Of course, he still has Kelsey, but now Mahomes, how's he going to do it without a superstar wide receiver? He goes and wins a freaking Super Bowl. So, Jake, what do you think Josh Allen, like, this year? Because I think if you're a Bills fan, This is Josh Allen's chance to show that he is one of the better quarterbacks, because we already know that with him to an extent, but this is where he can kind of like show, like, I'm not dependent on Stefon Diggs. I can do it with less talent around me.
Yeah, no doubt. And really, he needs to go out there and win in the playoffs, though, more so than the regular season. Like, Allen has been to less AFC championship games than Mark Sanchez has been to. So, like, he's got to go out there and
Why did that make me
actually
laugh?
deliver come playoff time. And I get it, they keep losing to the Chiefs, but what happened this year where they had the Chiefs in their own building? It was supposed to be different, right? Like we laugh, but like Josh Allen gets anointed like he's already won multiple MVPs and Super Bowls. He hasn't. He's not Mahomes, and I get it. Nobody's Mahomes, but Joe Burrow went into his building 2 seasons ago and knocked his ass out of the playoffs. So I look at the Bills right now, and they clearly did not get better this offseason. You know, they could try and spin it any way they want. At the minimum, they are the same team or worse. They have not gotten better. I know for a fact the New York Jets have gotten better. If they did nothing besides just get Aaron Rodgers back for more than 4 plays, they were going to be a significantly better team. And now they have Tyrod Taylor backing them up, not Tim Boyle or Zach Wilson. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Buffalo. You still want to make them the favorites because they've won the division 4 straight years. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you can't sit here and tell me they've gotten better when they've lost their leading sack leader, their all-pro wide receiver, and a bunch of other quality veterans that are on both sides of the ball for their team.
I don't know why that made me laugh when he said Mark Sanchez has been that. That was not where I thought you were going, and it's true. I never thought of it, and I'll be using that on Dan Mitchell now. Thank you, Jake. Mark Sanchez has been to more AFC Championship games than Josh Allen. Okay, speak to me before you get there twice, Mr. Josh Allen. I love it. Folks, don't forget to hit the like button if you're just tuning into the show. We only got 24 likes. I know you guys could do better than that. That's our thoughts about Stefon Diggs. And now we haven't got your guys' thoughts of Hassan Reddick because that happened Friday, right? Last week was the show with me and Matt was Thursday. The news broke Friday night. The Jets trade for Hassan Reddick. They trade for a guy who chases sacks. Oh, brutal. They brought in a guy who chases sacks. Oh, must suck. But all jokes aside, man, that trade came out of nowhere. I mean, we saw Jadeveon Clowney go to Carolina, and then we're all thinking the same thing. Okay, the Jets are obviously interested in a veteran pass rusher, a veteran, defensive end to replace a Bryce Huff. Who is it going to be? I thought it was going to be like a Yannick Ngakoue or, someone like that. I did not see Hassan Reddick. I'll be honest with you guys, simply because he wasn't free agent, so I don't really think like a trade was really that possible. But boy, oh boy, Joe Douglas works his magic. 2026 conditional 3rd-round pick for an all-pro pass rusher. Matt, what's your thoughts? Obviously, it's been a minute since it happened. We've had like 5 days to kind of talk about this trade, but I like to refer to it as the rich got richer, because the defensive line and the defense for the Jets was not an issue at all. And we just added an all-pro talent who's one of the better pass rushers in the entire NFL, matched in with the rest of the unit on this defense.
Well, aren't you concerned because he's chasing sacks?
Yeah, no.
So stupid. But I think he's going to fit in really well on this defensive line. He's perfect for a Robert Saleh system, which really gets those edge rushers and just kind of lets them loose and lets them go after all the sacks and whatnot. And the interior guys kind of are the ones that are more concerned with filling their gaps and not breaking containment, all that fun stuff. But in all seriousness, should be a double-digit sack guy. I don't know if he hits the 68% of snaps to make it from a 3rd to a 2nd-round pick in 2026. He's probably closer to 60% for the Jets, but just an absolutely dominant player over the last 4 seasons, has 10+ sacks in each of the last 4 years, 5th in the NFL over the last 5 years in sacks. So he's going to get after the quarterback, and the Jets need a guy like that when they're trying to close out games in the 4th quarter.
Absolutely. Another thing I love about this move that I thought of right away is Hassan Reddick is the exact type of talent we want Will McDonald to become, right? Like Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson have different play styles, even though they play the same position. But you look at a guy like Hassan Reddick, long, lanky, athletic, lines up at the wide 9, pure pass rusher ability. I think Will McDonald's going to benefit from this in the long run in terms of developing. So, Jake, what's your thoughts about the trade, and how did this all materialize? Did you see it coming? Like, what was your overall reaction when you saw the Jets landing Hassan Reddick?
Well, it's so funny because I suggested after Clowney had signed with the Panthers, I'm like, hey, maybe they call the Eagles about Reddick. And then I was like, it's probably unlikely they would do that. He probably wants a new deal and it's going to cost a lot. I don't see the Jets doing that when they have limited draft capital to begin with. And then sure enough, you find out the details of the trade, and it's a third-round pick 3 drafts from now. And you're like, wow, like if I had suggested that's all it would take to get Reddick, like people would say, dude, throw yourself in Stupid Town. You're an idiot. Like there's no way. So I think it's a great deal. Look, I wanted to keep Huff, but once you didn't keep Huff, you're not going to find a better player than Hassan Reddick. Best case scenario, Bryce Huff is as good as what Reddick has been the last couple of years. Like maybe Huff ends up being a better player a lot longer than Reddick because he's younger. But right now, Hassan Reddick is still one of the best pass rushers in the league. He makes the Jets defense, at least on paper, injuries, of course, happen, a lot better than they were a year ago. And they were damn good a year ago, despite no help from their offense.
That is scary. Not only is the offense obviously improving, but the defense seems like it's going to take another step. And let's not forget, a reason for the improvement that you can expect from this Jets defense, which I'm excited for a lot, is year 4 of the same system. I think a lot of people underestimate the value of continuity and the ability to be in the same system for a long period of time. I mean, Robert Saleh was brought here. The first season, the defense stunk. And we're like, Saleh, you're a defensive guy. Why does his defense stink? And then he's like, don't worry, we just needed a year to figure ourselves out. Year 2, top 5. Year 3, top 5. Now year 4. Where do you think this defense could go? Especially not to mention with hopefully an actual offense that it's not going to have the defense strained out there more often than not. So really exciting stuff. I think that move for the Jets just proves how all in they are. And like you talk about like the Texans, for example, they're all in with their quarterback, C.J. Stroud, as they should on a rookie deal. The Jets are also all in right now with Aaron Rodgers for their own reasons. Like, they have a window, and you see the Jets being super aggressive, and I can't stand, this is my biggest pet peeve, okay? People telling me, and Jets fans in general, oh, here we go again, the Jets fans are super excited. Like, stop being so happy. What are you talking about? You want me to be miserable that we're making moves in the offseason? Like, we're plugging in holes. A fan means you are happy when they make moves. You want them to be happy. Like, you're happy when the Jets make moves you want them to make. Okay, sorry that I actually get a little too excited about my team trading for an all-pro pass rusher. I know it. I got to translate to the field, Matt. I get it, but what, like, people tell me to relax, and I get it. We had an explosion of disappointment last year, but I can't help myself of the excitement, Matt. I can't.
Yeah, how dare you get excited about a strong off season on the team with the longest, I'll remind everyone at home, longest active playoff drought in all the 4 major North American sports. Jet fans have been suffering for over a decade without their team making the playoffs. They've had 1 winning season since 2011. From 2011 through this past season, they've won 1 winning season. They went 10-6 and still missed the playoffs because Ryan Fitzpatrick turned into a pumpkin up in Buffalo in the last week of the year. So I don't want to hear it. Like, allow Jet fans to enjoy themselves, and maybe just, if you're saying they're going to go 17-0 and win the Super Bowl, I'm going to tell you, all right, pump the brakes a little bit. But if you have realistic, excited expectations going into a year with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and a really good defense, that's how it should be. It's sports. It's supposed to be fun. Enjoy it.
Wow. I needed that, Matt. That hit home for me.
There you go.
Lumpy with the $2. Thoughts on Canty's rant on Rodgers. Did you guys see this? Because I don't think I saw this.
No, I didn't.
I saw it.
All right, Jake, break it down.
And I want to make this clear. Chris Canty, I met him last month. Nice guy. Could not be more wrong. Could not sound more bitter. Could not sound more just uneducated on all his comments about the Jets. But today he went way too far. He called Aaron Rodgers a cancer and said the Jets season is finished before it even starts because Aaron Rodgers is not a leader. And I don't have time for stupidity. I'll probably do a video on it and just destroy him and save my anger for that. But it just comes across as just pure, just jealousy, uneducated commentary when you just have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, I did retweet this from you this morning, Jake, on Twitter, of MVS glowing about Aaron Rodgers, and I absolutely love what you said. Don't tell that to the people that routinely spew nonsense about how bad of a guy Aaron Rodgers is, despite his Jets teammates voting him most inspirational player last season, and Rodgers taking the largest pay cut in team sports history doesn't fit the horse crap narrative. I saw that and enjoyed it, so I had to retweet it.
Yeah, I'm so sick of the Rodgers stuff, man. Like there's a saying in politics, like Trump derangement syndrome. Like I think there's a saying with Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome. Like it's out of control, man. It's crazy to me. What has this guy done other than, since he's been a Jet, take the largest pay cut in team sports history, be voted captain, be voted by his teammates after he suffered this catastrophic injury? Most inspirational. He could have left and hung out in California the whole season. He came back to the team. He was as all in as you could be. I had CJ Mosley on my show at the Super Bowl, and Mosley said it was unbelievable to see what he was doing running the scout team offense against us in practice. Like, he's like, if we were not eliminated, he was coming back. Joe Tippmann told me the same thing when I spoke with him this offseason. Like, this idea that he's not committed to the Jets and he's a bad leader, when anyone you talk to around the Jets, teammates of his, former teammates of his, like MVS in that clip on the Zach Gelb show, like, it's just, it drives me crazy just how ignorant these people are, simply because they either hate him because he's a Jet and can't be played for the Giants, and he played for the Cowboys, so I'm sure Rodgers kicked his ass, or you just hate him like Colin Cowherd because you don't agree with his stance on the vaccine or other commentary on politics he's made in the past. Like, it's out of control, man. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you said. It feels like there's just a personal thing about Aaron that people have that will do everything in their power to try to ruin his image. And it's ridiculous. I've been on this channel debating about that since he became a Jet, and it's tiring. I agree with you 100%. John, I thought this was a fun little comment, showing some love. I love Richie's energy. Thank you, John. I love Jake's introduction, and Matt is just a badass.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Let's go.
Thanks, John.
I thought that was hilarious. The reason why I wanted to highlight this is the Matt being a badass part. I thought that was funny. Matt's just a badass.
I don't know, Matt. Get that, so I will take it. I'm tall. I'm a big guy, but I'm a big softy. So I will gladly take a badass. That's not usually how I'm described, but I will take it.
I'll never forget. We were at the main event for Jake like organized just a little meetup for a Thursday night game or something, and that picture of us went viral on Jets Twitter because of the height differences.
Oh, man.
Everyone was like,
same thing at the Hall of Fame with Jake
exactly.
and Boy Green. We had Toegate. It was tremendous.
Yeah, I tried to just get as high as possible to be close to Matt, and people thought I was like trying to do that as like oh, you're on your tippy toes, haha, gotcha. And I'm like, that was kind of the whole point. Like, it was supposed to be funny, like how tall Matt was, but I went right over people's heads. But whatever, tippy toe gate lives on.
What else is new? Things going over right over people's heads, but it is what it is. Now, I do want to show you guys, and I'm very fascinated, okay, because the odds of the AFC East is something that we have been keeping an eye on this channel, on this show every single week. And now, since the move of the Buffalo Bills trading away Stefon Diggs, I want to highlight the odds of the AFC East all over again, presented by our proud sponsor, BetUS Sportsbook. BetUS has the Jets now at plus 220. They're still the third favorites. The Bills are now plus 165. Dolphins 175. Now, to put things in perspective, you forgot what the odds were. Before free agency, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills were at plus 140. The Dolphins were at like plus 160 or something like that. And the Jets were at plus 285. Therefore, if you notice a trend, okay, the Bills and Dolphins odds are going up. The Jets odds going down. So BetUS is on to something. They see something brewing. And I'm telling you guys this right now. I will put money on the Jets being below plus 200 to win the division by August. After the NFL draft, after there's all these bets being placed, I think the Jets being the third favorite is ridiculous. I think that they easily have had the better offseason, and they have improved. Not to say the Dolphins and the Bills are still not a good football team, but, bro, I love the Jets at plus 220. I think that's the path for the division. Matt, what's your thoughts about the AFC East odds on BetUS right now, based off of even yesterday? Because I don't think odds really changed yet after the Stefon Diggs trade, which I find it fascinating.
Richie, I was going to say, I'm going to need you to please stop talking because the books might catch on and change the line. We want it to be priced at that point. We want that. Keep sleeping, please. Move it the other way. I beg you at this point. Even look, we know it was closer to 280 last time. Even at 220, I think you're still getting good value. I don't disagree with you, though. I think it's going to continue to move. So if you haven't gotten in on it yet, I would do it now.
Yeah, and listen, I get it, right? You look at the standings last year, Bills first place, Dolphins second, Jets third, Patriots last. So there's part of it, based off what happened in last year that I think the books are, basing their information off of. But Jake, what's your thoughts about the Jets starting at plus 285, now all the way down to plus 220?
I think it's tremendous value for the Jets right now. Get it while you can, because to me they're the most talented team in the AFC East. The Bills and Dolphins, they did not get better this offseason. Maybe they're not that much worse because they have good quarterbacks, especially the Bills. Like Josh Allen's great and he can overcome losing Diggs, or maybe they hit on someone in the draft that's a big surprise, but they haven't gotten better. So if I can get the Jets at plus 220, the Jets are the only team that we could definitively say has significantly improved this offseason. So I think if you are objectively speaking going to bet this, you can only really bet the Jets here, unless you think New England's going to pull a Houston Texans from a year ago and hit on a quarterback and then win in the division. So I think the Jets are actually the only bet you would make, because otherwise it's not enough of a juiced odds to really wager a significant amount of money. $100 to win 220 sounds good to me.
Yeah, and a lot of things I'm going to keep saying it. And sorry if you're listening, BetUS, don't do it. But I like these odds. I think they're going to low. I think they're going to drop under 200. That's my prediction after the NFL draft. I really, really think this is the time if you want to put some money. I know King Lowski put his money where his mouth is. He said last night, he's like, I'll put my money on BetUS for the Jets to win the division and for the over on 9.5 wins. We appreciate you, King Lowski. But guys, if you want to open up your BetUS account today, that link is down below in the description. You will receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,500, and you get a 10% gambler's insurance. They got a fast, reliable 24-hour payout and a 24/7 customer service, which is my personal favorite about BetUS. You can give them a call and place a bet. If you don't want to do it on the website, you're like, hey, I want the Jets to win the damn division for $100. And they're like, we got you. What's your account number? And they'll do it for you on the phone, which I like that. It's kind of old school vibe. So definitely go check out BetUS down below in the description, guys, to open up your account today. Let's hear a quick word from the proud sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
Where the game begins. Alrighty, we're going to get through some super chats, and then it's mock draft time. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Mike D's nuts with the $5 super chat. That'll never get old. Canty Coward and Nick Wright are the poster children for Jets negativity. It's so lazy and exhausting. They're an easy target for sure. And the way this is my thoughts of this. There will always be negative Nancy's against the Jets. And that's just something I've grown accustomed to. And personally, as much as I hate the negativity, I'd rather there be some doubters than everybody be like, oh, the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. Like, that was last year. Like, I felt like that was last year's vibe, where, of course, Jets fan had a little container of excitement, but even the outside world was buying into the hype. And I'm like, I don't know. So, Matt, what's your thoughts about all this negativity around the media about the Jets? And there have been some people, like, I know I don't really value this specific guy I might have mentioned's opinion in the NFL, but Stephen A. Smith was like all of a sudden now a big Jets guy, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago he was saying that the Jets aren't real contender, but
yeah, which is why you can't value anything he says, even in basketball with the Knicks. Don't get me started with Stephen A. But Matt, what's your thoughts about all these guys and Coward and Canty and Nick Wright being negative Nancy's towards the Jets?
I don't mind it because I am very much look at the teams that I root for. I'm a Jets fan, I'm a Mets fan, I'm an Islanders fan. I like the underdog and I like the prove people wrong mentality. Now, it doesn't always work, but when it does, it feels that much sweeter. So I get nervous when there's a lot of, or not a lot, but too much positive light, when it's all positive and no negative. Because then I have that fear of, again, probably from being a Jets, Mets, and Islanders fan, that the other shoe's going to drop and things are going to go bad. So I kind of like the lesser expectations and to overperform what the general consensus is.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think it's a mental toughness for the team, right? Us fans are like, we're going to react to it, of course. But like, how can these players in the team turn out the noise and not let it get to them? Even the positive feedback, the positive hype, and the negative. They got to turn out that, focus on, themselves, focus on the team, and try to figure out a way to just get the W this year and Cancel out the noise. Joshua Richardson with a $10 super chat. This is TD's cousin, if I'm not mistaken. Appreciate the $10. Big time, Joshua. What up, fellas? I'm a Bills fan, but I love Aaron Rodgers. He was my favorite QB while in Green Bay. TD is scared of Aaron Rodgers. That's why he talks negative about Aaron Rodgers. Great show as always. Hey, I mean, this is his cousin, so he knows TD extremely well. TD's
Josh
scared.
is welcome here. Joshua is welcome here. I like this comment a ton. This is great.
I love it. Well, you know what's funny too? People were like, "Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers in 2022 wasn't even that great." When, by the way, like if you look at his numbers, like the Jets would have won 10 or 11 games with that the last 2 years. So it's like I think it'll be better than that because I think the Jets are putting him in a better position to succeed than what Green Bay had his last year there. But let's say he's just that. Like this is the same Aaron Rodgers that went into Miami on Christmas Day 2 years ago and essentially knocked the Miami Dolphins a huge blow to their playoff chances that year. Like, remember that? Like, the Dolphins were trying to get, like, one of the top seeds, and Rodgers came in and played one of his best games of the year and stuck it to them on Christmas Day.
With the broken thumb. Oh,
Yep.
but Tua was concussed. That's what their excuse was for that game. I mean, come on. Give me a freaking break. Gosh. But, yeah, I agree with what you said, Jake. Everyone, especially TD, I can't tell if he's trolling because he trolls way too much. He's like, Aaron Rodgers was a bum last time he played. I'm like, bum? He had 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Like, I don't even know what that's like as a Jets quarterback. That's average, and that's all we need. Like, if that's your definition of bum, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Crazy.
damn. I'll take that any day of the week. So, Josh, thank you again for the $10. M. Jaludi with a $5 super chat. Interested in seeing what quarterback we take in mid-rounds. I hope we find a gem. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the most intriguing parts of the NFL draft for the New York Jets. We'll be entering our mock draft shortly to see which quarterback, if a quarterback, we're going to get one. I mean, I see Jets fans all over the place with this, where they're going to go at the quarterback position. Matt, your gut feeling, who's the quarterback the Jets are drafting if they do draft one in the draft?
I guess I'm kind of a self-proclaimed Michael Pratt stan, so that's going to be my mid-round quarterback that I'm going to latch onto and think that he's going to be the next big thing. I don't know, pick between him, Jordan Travis, Spencer Rattler, one of those three guys.
No, it's Pratt. That's it, Matt. You're a Pratt pioneer.
I'm a Pratt guy. So
you're a Pratt pioneer.
A Pratt pioneer, like the Zach Truthers. Now I just got to defend Michael Pratt at the end of time and say that he's not getting his chance. It's the whole thing. But yeah, Michael Pratt it is.
Well, now I know if we draft Michael Pratt, I'm thinking of Matt immediately because he is all in on Mr. Michael Pratt. No, I like him too as a prospect. I think that's interesting, and I think the Jets will be drafting one. Just a matter of what part of the draft. Thank you, Jaludi, for the super chat. Barney. Aaron Hader is going to look dumb. Jets undefeated in 24. P.S. I'm a Brock Bowers truther. You mean a Bower boy. Get my Shadow Realm room ready, Jake.
I love it. I love it. Look, if they take Brock Bowers, Barney, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a terrible pick. It's not what I would do, but I'm going to root for him. See, like, unlike, like the Zach Wilson truthers who are just morons who think, like, I just hate Zach and wasn't rooting for him. I used to be accused of being a Zach Wilson truther because I thought he was going to be good and I defended him before it was just undefendable. Like, so, like, we're all Jet fans, man. Like, we all have our opinions, but, if you're truly a fan at the end of the day, like, even if you think Robert Saleh, for example, is this terrible coach, like, root for his success. So it's not a nightmare that we've been living through since this team last made the playoffs. But I'll say this, if they do take Bowers, Barney, he better be really good right away. Like, if you're taking a tight end that high, there's no grace period. There's no, he's got to develop. No, we see guys that are picked in the top 10 have immediate impacts on teams. If you're taking a tight end that high, this guy better be unbelievable right away.
Well said. King Lowski, member for a month. Richie, please tell Jake and Matt what this fool TD said last night about Brees and A-Chain. Jets, Jets, baby. King Lowski, I actually told him right before we started the show off air, and I brought you up to them. I'm like, yo, you guys got to go rewatch the ending of that show last night of King Lowski going after TD. Basically, for those that don't know what he's referring to, TD and I and Colby from Patriots Global, he was on our side. He was the Jets side of things. He would easily take Brees Hall over those guys. TD would take Devon A-Chain and Mostert individually, by the way, over Brees Hall. He thinks that Brees Hall is overrated and all these things, and that A-Chain is his god. And the only thing that TD was referring to is box score numbers. Oh, that's what we're doing now. If you talk to every single NFL GM and you're building a roster and you have a choice between Brees Hall, A-Chain, and Mostert, I guarantee that every single GM is picking Brees Hall. Convince me otherwise, you can't.
No, it's It's
Like,
crazy.
it's not
Now,
even
if you
debatable.
wanted to say that you would rather the duo of A-Chain and Mostert over Hall and Izzy, I might be able to give you that their running back room as a whole is collectively better than the Jets because their RB2 is significantly better.
Now, that was brought up, and now I have to ask you a follow-up to that. My stance was, would you rather Breece Hall as the bell cow of your offense, that he stays healthy and you give him 30-plus touches, or a 1-2 punch of a Mostert and an
I'd rather
A-Chain?
Breece. Definitely Breece. But I was just trying to justify the thoughts, which is crazy to begin with.
See,
But
I mean, they're here, too. Give me
yeah,
A-Chain over Bum Hall. And I genuinely want one non-Dolphins fan to come up and get their stance out there because I'm really curious. But we're not going to do that because, bro, last night it was tiring. I was exhausted about it. I'm like, TD would go on for an 8-minute emotional rant. I'm like, nothing you said even makes sense. So we're moving on. And we're moving on here to the mock draft, baby. Guys, hit that like button. We're about to start the full mock draft for the New York Jets, baby. Last week was fun. Matt and I traded down, and we got Brock Bowers somehow still at 14. Now let's see what we can do in this mock draft. Now, is there a certain focus? Because obviously in a mock draft, you want to go in with an intention. Like, are we doing the offensive line route, the trade up route, the trade down route, see where the board falls? So we'll start off with this. Should we trade up from 10? Because obviously people are talking about that, but I still don't think that's likely because based on all the reports we're seeing, it's more likely they're trading down than up. What's your thoughts about that, Jake? Do you think there's actually a chance the Jets trade up, or do you think it's way more likely for them to stay put at 10 or trade down?
I think it's more likely that they trade back than they trade up. But how about this for a bit of a change up? What if I tell you it's more likely they trade back or up than it is they stick and pick a 10? Because I kind of got a feeling we're in for something crazy happening, whether it's moving up for one of the receivers, even if it's moving up, like let's say just 2 spots because Odunze's there at 8 and you flip the Falcons a 4th rounder to come up and get them. Like I could see that, guys. I also could see them moving back. Like I'm starting to think we're going to hear like some Jet fans going crazy when the Jet logo comes up on the screen and we see some sort of trade. Like I could see it.
I could see it too. Dallas says, hopefully no one gets shot after this mock. Well, you know we cannot please everybody, Dallas, as you learned. There is no possible way to please Jets fans as a collective. So we have to.
So, Richie, I think that super chat is in reference to I did a video today. Mike Francesa said on his show, if Joe Alt is there at 10 and the Jets pass on him, someone should be shot. So I think that super chat is in reference to that one.
An all-time comment, by the way.
The GOAT. Mike friend we get shot. That's the best. I did see that. So let's start this up. Now when it comes to trading up, I would have to pause it at like 8. So let's see if I can do that.
Or are we going up from Marvin?
That was fast. Okay. Whoop. Up. Wait.
You missed it.
Well,
Joe Douglas was sleeping. Come on.
The Bears are on the clock, and Roma Dunze still available, so we could trade up for a spot if we wanted to take a Dunze.
Do we think the Bears are going to go with Dunze here?
Yeah, that's the question. They do have a wide receiver as a need. So
what quarterbacks are left right now?
None. Besides Bo Nix. I mean, all the top 4 are gone.
Caleb May, McCarthy,
and Daniels.
Okay. Because my thought process here would have been if one of the big 4 was left, I'm not trading up. I'll stay at 10, and we'll be the team that will get a huge haul to move back. But they're all gone already. So it's an interesting spot. The Jets could be faced with this scenario here. It is possible with these players. Would you trade up to guarantee a Dunze, or with the board being what it is, you let it play out, and you could try and trade back at 10 unless you love a Dunze so much?
Well, what do you think would be just to move up a slot? Like just like a 4th or like a 5th? Like what would get that done?
I would offer a 5th for this year and see if you can get it done.
Well, yeah, see if they do it.
Like what? Like 185?
That's they don't have a 5th round pick this year, unfortunately.
That's right.
So you either got to do the 4th or the 6th.
How about a 6th and we'll give them a pick next year?
I mean, look at this. 98% to be accepted are Mr. Irrelevant pick.
Well, let's fleece them then.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Let's fleece them. Oh, what? What happened?
See, Joe Douglas without Rex Hogan doesn't even know how to put his trade request.
What the heck was that? It said 98% accepted. I clicked it and just they drafted Roma Dunze in front of us. What
How do you
bogus
screw
is that?
How do we screw that up? All
Well,
right.
this is my nightmare because Brock Bowers is here and Rashawn are both gone. So
There's,
Richie's created my draft nightmare.
There's 7 teams though interested in trading up, so maybe we should
Oh
look
my
at
God,
that.
we're living Jake's nightmare.
Oh, the Saints want to give us a haul here. What do we got?
Yeah, this is usually the team that I always trade back with in pretty much every mock draft I've ever done. So are we doing the same thing, Matt?
I'm down for 14 and 45 for 10, something like that.
Yeah,
Or should we switch it up? Because we did that last week.
Oh, we did. Okay, who else is interested?
Yeah, what are the other offers?
We got the Cow. Oh, wow. No one really besides the Saints. I mean, the Cowboys are the next one at 24.
What are they giving?
I mean, can we get a haul from Dallas? Do we want to move that far down? So
Yeah,
we'll
but then
get
what
24.
if we make that deal and then we try and get a deal to come up and we'll end up with Fontano potentially if he's still there?
Yeah, I got to turn this dial down because we're going way too fast. That's what, you know, I think that's what screwed me over. It was like, boom. All right. So what do we want from Dallas? They're 56 and 87.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
Let's go. Rip it, baby. Let's go. Let's get nuts.
All right.
All right.
We're moving back.
Now be ready to pause because we're going to try.
I
And
will.
Get
We're going super slow.
one of the tackles.
All right. Dallas Turner. Gone.
All right.
That's who they traded up for. That's ridiculous. Mitchell.
Yeah, I already have Micah Parsons. That makes no sense.
Arnold. Fuaga. Let me know when you want me to pause it. Uh-oh. They're dropping the tackles.
Pause.
JC Latham.
Pause.
Ah.
We got to get a deal. I was going to try and trade back with the Colts because I think Fontano to the Seahawks could happen.
All right. Let's trade up for Fontano right now. So,
All right. So
let's package what? 24?
give him 24. And we got an
72?
extra. Yeah, give him that in our third and see if we can get up. And if they reject it, we can throw in a pick next year because Joe Douglas is saying YOLO.
So basically what we just did, though, is we traded down. We got 56 and 87, and now we're going to package 72 to trade up again.
So let's do. Well, try. Do you have do you have the fourth? Try the fourth instead.
Give Dallas his fourth.
80
It's a higher pick.
Oh, you know what I did? I clicked resume draft.
Silly goose.
Oh, not offer trade.
That's what I did last time. That's what that makes sense.
Hey, it worked.
Oh, we got it.
We got it.
I got nervous again. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, we
Oh, wait, Brock Bowers still available, Jake.
If you're a Bowers boy, this is your heaven. Look, it's up to you guys. Me personally, I'm still team offensive line. So this would be more acceptable though, because we gained a second round pick, and we end up taking Bowers. So like, I'm still getting my wish for the most part. But Fontano being there, we take him. We got our next AVT, and we still now have pick 56 in round 2 and pick 72 and 111. We're still set up. We're set up very nicely here.
Agree. Do the offensive line.
I'm in. Done. We trade back. We trade back up. This is what draft season's all about, baby.
We only had to do that because you hit resume instead of accept, which is so funny.
Oh man, we should have Roma Dunze. Damn it. Maybe we should redo it all over again and try to do that hypothetical. But hey.
Bowers fell to the Dolphins, 21. Huh.
Interesting.
We're not going to trade up again, so we can speed this up.
Yeah, we can fire off.
Turbo. All right. Ricky.
Dude.
Yeah.
We just jet
How
fan
do you
porn.
not?
Oh my god. Run up the card.
You want Ricky?
Yeah, I mean,
You big Ricky guy?
I'm
I
a
like
huge
it.
Ricky guy.
You
Pickle
agree,
Rick.
Matt?
Yeah, Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
Find me a better mock.
Oh,
Oh
Christian
my
Haynes.
God.
But we already got an offensive line.
So
That's true.
I would do it.
I like
Haynes?
Christian Haynes. There's great value there.
Me too.
He's the 64th ranked player. We're on the clock at 72 because the quarterbacks have been overdrafted, so it pushed a good player like him down.
So we got Fatanu, Ricky Purcell, and Christian Haynes. Check from Matt and Jake.
Yeah, go to the other receivers. I would either double up on lineman or receiver here.
Javon Baker, Johnny Wilson.
Well, think about it, though. We still have 111 and 134. We could get one of those guys then. One of them will be there. Cowing.
True. I mean, you don't got to convince me on offensive line.
All right.
Build the wall.
Build the wall! It's built, baby. Uh-oh. Look who's the best player available.
Matthew.
I think it's the Pratt
what'd you
Pioneer time.
The Pratt Pirate? What?
Well, let's see the wide receivers. Damn, they went. You got Malik Washington, Cornelius Johnson, I like. But we got Michael Pratt, ranked 89. ADP is 96. We're on the clock at 111. Is this the quarterback? Should we do it in honor of Matt O'Leary?
They're basically begging for us to take him. He's still there at pick 111, and his rank is 89.
Well,
he won't be there at 134 if we don't do it now. Now, I will say, what receivers are left? Is there a receiver that we're dying for here?
Here are the receivers.
Did Brendan Rice go already? I guess he did if he's
He
not
did,
here.
yeah.
Probably.
That's who I wanted if he was available.
I would take the quarterback here if we believe in. If the Jets had conviction on Jordan Travis maybe, but if we're Pratt guys, then we get our guy Michael Pratt.
We're getting Michael Pratt. We're the Pratt Pioneers.
Boom.
Future franchise quarterback, Super Bowl winning champion, Michael Pratt. Okay. Now, we are on the clock at pick 134 in the 4th round. We went all offense. So is this the time to keep going offense? Or is it time to go more defense, get a defensive tackle, safety?
Yeah, let's look at the safeties here. What's the best player available?
Best player available is Mohamed Kamara, who is an edge rusher.
We know Robert Saleh loves his edges.
And then we got McKinley Jackson, defensive tackle, excuse me.
This to me is best player available on defense because we don't pick again until the 6th round. So this is our last premium pick, 4th round pick.
Is there any knowledge on these guys, Matt, on your end?
I don't know. I don't know a ton about Kamara.
Yeah, me neither. I'll be honest with you guys.
But if edge is a position that you think they would go after,
I don't know. I mean, you brought in Reddick. Would they aim for like a Bryce Huff type of guy, like with that late 7th round pick for edge and maybe even undrafted free agent, or would they draft like one in the 4th round? Is the question. We know that they love their defensive linemen, so I'm not putting it past them. But let's see if there's a wide receiver available. Cornelius Johnson, Taj Washington. These guys will definitely all be gone the next time we go.
I say we take a receiver. Let's do the all offense draft. Give Jet fans something to talk about online.
There we go.
Cornelius?
Yeah, Cornelius.
Yeah, he can't be bad with a name like Cornelius.
Oh, that's great. All right. We are back on the clock in round 6.
Running back, baby. Joe Douglas draft needs a running back at all times.
Who is available at running back? Oop, that's tight end. We got
Frank Gore Jr.
Frank Gore Jr.
Oh, done.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't take Frank Gore Jr.
He's got Hall of Fame.
This is a fun draft. All right. We got the last 2 Mr. Irrelevant picks. I think I might go Tagovailoa because if you double down on quarterbacks, I mean, you got to get 2. Totally kidding. I'm going the usual route. Is he available, Matt? What do you think? He's available. Look at him, Mr. Josh Proctor.
That is a fan fave safety in the 7th round.
That is a green bean guy?
No. Carson Steele is the green bean guy.
Okay.
He's the running back, but we already got a running back.
We went running back already.
All right, so who's going to be our Mr. Relevant pick? We got Josh Proctor. We did not get a defensive lineman.
Or a safety. No, we did get a safety.
We just got a safety in Proctor. So
Okay.
do we go another offensive player? Do we go?
Take another lineman. They all get hurt anyway.
Yeah, pick one of these names out of a hat. And
Yeah, we didn't get a tackle. We got 2 interior guys, even though Patano can do tackle as well. So we'll do Delmar Glaze.
Yeah.
What a name.
Big glazed donut guy.
All right. Let's
Boom.
see. This is going to be very interesting.
His cousin founded the glazed donut.
A grade.
Hey, look at that.
Who's doubting us?
I mean, we wheeled and dealed, folks. I mean, we were like Kevin Costner in the movie Draft Day.
Oh my God!
Richie
What a
hit the wrong button, and we still recovered and got an A.
I was folding. I said resume draft instead of go after the trade. Now let's see the final results. Here it is on the screen right here, folks. Boom.
Oh, look at that. We fixed the Jets.
We really did. I mean, Fontano is tackle and guard. So when Tyron Smith or whoever gets hurt, we're covered, and he's going to play. He's a stud. We know the Jets love him. Ricky Perso is a beast. We needed the 2nd-round pick to get him, and we pulled that off because when we did the trade up to get Fontano, we only had to give away what would we even give to move up? I don't even remember, but we still somehow had an extra second, and we still had an extra 4th, or we had like an extra pick somewhere that we used to facilitate the deal. We did a good job.
Well, the big test is going to be what Jets fans say on Twitter, in which I'm making the tweet now.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. We did live on the Jets Roundtable with me, Jake Asman, and Mr. Matt O'Leary. Let's hear what they have to say. What are your thoughts on our...
I think we cooked.
You think this is better than last week's?
I don't know. Last week got a lot of love, but
It did. I was like, wow, love from a mock draft? That's so rare.
people like Ricky Pearsall, though.
A 3rd-round pick to move up 24 to 16 is a great trade we made. I mean, we took the 3rd we got from Dallas, we flipped it to get Fontano at 16, and we still got the extra 2 to take a receiver, and then we got a really quality offensive lineman in round 3, Christian Haynes. I mean, that's
Guys,
pretty good.
Let us know in the chat how you're feeling about this. Another full 7-round mock draft we did live on the Jets Roundtable with me, Jake Asman, and Matt O'Leary. What are your thoughts on our mock draft? That is sent out. Guys, go on X right now and share your thoughts with us to see what you guys feel. I have a funny feeling about this.
Oh, baby.
Let's see what they got to say. The people will vote. Let's see if what the chat has to say. C+. Oh, damn it, Ronald.
C+. F you, Ronald.
C+. What? Dallas doubles down on the shot and sends Richie with, they have to change the emojis to the water gun. But thank you, Dallas. I appreciate it. Dyke Tyson with a $5 super chat. I was just working on a mock draft that had alt neighbors available at 10. If this unlikely scenario played out, which guy are you taking?
Alt.
How about
Yeah,
you,
I don't want to get shot from Mike Francesa, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take alt.
I mean, that's true. You don't want to get shot.
Is Justin the boss kidding when he writes, why no Dallas Turner with our 1st pick?
Oh, I don't know. I hope so. I mean, I think that's the Jets fans' worst nightmare is going edge in the 1st round. I think last year really affected this fan base with the day with Will McDonald. It really did. It's giving them PTSD. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see if there's anybody that responded to this yet. Well, Mr. Matt O'Leary did.
I did.
I love it. I'm scared to hit show more replies.
It's gonna be, something in bio.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that live on this. I'm going to exit this screen and then click it. See. Oh, okay. It's actually an actual take. Any draft that doesn't have Bowers in the top 20 is a great draft. That's what this guy said.
Don't tell that to a certain segment of this fan base.
Uh-oh.
Confirmed, not a Bauer boy.
Confirmed non-Bauer boy.
You know how
Jake-
crazy this draft would have been though if we traded back and then traded up and dude, you guys at the main event of Long Island are gonna be like throwing beer and crap everywhere. It's gonna be crazy.
I cannot wait to get the live reactions with everyone. Like, it's so much fun when it's just like the three of us in our live reactions, but include like the crowd cams and shit like that.
and in
too.
person.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I can't wait.
That's gonna be so cool. That's gonna be fun. You're going to the Circa, right, Jake?
Yeah, I'll be out in Vegas for it. I wish I could make it out to Long Island though. I'm gonna be jealous.
That's gonna be dope. Oh man, a lot of fun draft coverage coming your way. I'm actually gonna be at MetLife Stadium for the draft this year, which is gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be crazy. Never been at the stadium for the draft party. They have like this exclusive party with Jets alumni. So I'm gonna be with Bart Scott and all the Jets alumni. I'm gonna be doing a live show from my phone because I'm like, they invited me for the thing, and I'm like, can I like do a show there? Because that's usually what I do. They're like, yeah, but you can do what you usually do at training camp with your phone. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So we got a Jets live reaction to the draft via my phone, and I'm going with my buddy Jack. They invited a +1, so me and Jack will be there. You got Mr. Jake at Vegas, Matt and the boys on Long Island in the main event. Look at us, boys. Look at us. You love
Call
it.
into our mega cast, Richie. We'd love to have you on. I know I certainly would. I know Matt and Ryan and Greenbean always have like huge guests on theirs too. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Oh my God, I would love that. I would love that. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up the Jets Roundtable. If you didn't check it out, we just posted our mock draft that we did together. Seems like, let's see the feedback before we wrap things up. Let's go all in on this. Trade up for wide receiver. A fire draft. I'd be extremely excited if this was the draft the Jets pull off. Patanu will start at some point. We need some young ones in the pipeline. And we accomplished this with grabbing 2 linemen. We address wide receiver, halfback. I give it an A. Let's go. All right. Maggie Jones. Pratt. Hell yes.
Nice.
So we're not trading over Dallas Turner. No, we're not, Justin the boss. Oh, man. We're not doing it. Well, guys, thank you again for another edition of the Jets Roundtable. We're going to be switching up the schedule here. I think next week we're going to start the shows on Fridays, but stay on the lookout for that. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe to here at the AFC East Roundtable and subscribe to Jake Asman and Matt O'Leary's channel. And if you're feeling nice enough, subscribe to Jets Media. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for the love and the support. Let's go, Jets. We'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.